Well, this looks like a pretty scary scene. You have a gang member here who tries to hijack a car in broad day. Oh, wait, that's a cop holding the gun. Sorry, I got fooled by the tattoos. I forgot that you can't tell cops apart from prisoners nowadays. Ghetto tattoo work aside, we have a couple of officer-involved gunplay to examine. Both of these incidences have been making the rounds on social media because they raise questions about the quality of the personnel and training in our modern police force. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With cold, blunt analysis cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's time for the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
For the first incident, let me introduce Officer Kayleigh Cooper of the Cranston, Rhode Island Police Department. On June 16th, a local grocery store informed the police that a couple of real bad hombres had shoplifted some produce from them. And so Officer Cooper sprung into action. She spotted those rascals in their car at an intersection. And then, well, let's just watch the video.
Car. Get out of the car.
What are you doing? What is
You're just
this about?
shoplifting. Get out of the car.
What is this doing?
Get out.
She orders him out of the car. Let's be clear. He has to get out of the car. That's Pennsylvania versus Mims. Now, some have said that this was not a legitimate traffic stop, so Pennsylvania versus Mims doesn't apply. This is a traffic stop. He is in a vehicle on a public roadway. He has to get out.
Out of the car.
Ma'am. Ma'am, get away from my car.
Whoa! Where did that come from? Let's take a look at a fairly decent still frame of the incident. So here are his two hands, one hand here, the other hand on the steering wheel, and she has her finger on the trigger. Man, that ain't smart. Let's see how this plays out.
Run me over.
She fires the gun. Keep in mind, this was not a felony stop. They have not been accused of committing a felony. There is no reason to believe they possess a dangerous weapon. Yes, they are in a car that could be a dangerous weapon, but all of the cases I've seen before that justified a cop's actions in this type of manner involved prior reckless driving. Also, let's go back.
Ma'am, get away from my car.
Run me over.
You can't run me over. Okay, I'm going out on a limb and saying that if she was worried about being run over, she could have easily taken preventive measures, such as getting her foot out of the way. And so she fired a round, probably because she stupidly had her finger on the trigger. I hope the rear quarter panel of the car learned its lesson and will never get involved in this kind of crime again. Now, some of you are saying that it's good that the man got the hell out of there. I'm not so sure about that. That's debatable. Frankly, I don't think so. I think that was kind of a stupid move to drive off, but he did.
.207, shots fired.
Shots fired by me for a really stupid reason. Now, that's what she should have said. By the way, notice that she's walking around. Hang on. Now she's running. Remember that, because it now gets even better. Okay, so here is a news headline. Cranston police release footage of officer shooting at shoplifting suspects. What it shows. Okay, let's read this. A video released Friday morning by Cranston Police Chief Colonel Michael J. Winquist. Colonel? Shows footage recorded by an officer's body camera as she engaged with two suspected shoplifters before she fired a shot at their fleeing Kia sedan. Here we go. Both occupants of the car have been charged with assault on a police officer. And they face other charges. I mean, wait a minute. How did this happen? Well, hang on. But keep in mind, they charged both of them. The driver, a 24-year-old South Boston man, and the passenger, a 24-year-old Lynn woman, were captured by U.S. Marshals, Massachusetts State Police, and Boston Police. Wait a minute. For driving off on a shoplifting deal? They called all those people in? Okay, we'll skip down. An employee at Cranston's Garden City Shopping Center notified police about a case of shoplifting. Soon after, Cooper spotted the two suspected shoplifters at the intersection of Who Cares. They were in a Kia and stopped in traffic at the light. The video shows Cooper approaching the vehicle on foot. Twice, she tells the driver to shut off the car. So this was her first interaction with these people. People were asking, well, maybe something happened earlier that we don't know about. But no, pretty much what we saw is what happened. Okay, we'll skip on down. During the exchange, the woman in the passenger seat who is looking at the intersection ahead says drive 3 times. Ordinarily, the light turned green and she's telling her husband or boyfriend or whatever to drive on. The man had an alarmed expression on his face, yeah, in the moments before Cooper's 9mm Glock handgun appears in the frame. One hand moves back to the steering wheel. "Ma'am, get away from my car," he yells. Oh man, Cooper yells something that sounds like, "You can't run me over." The words "run me over" are clear. So she knew ahead of time about this threat of being run over. This was no surprise. State police have said the officer fired a shot after the fleeing car drove over her foot. Yeah, that's right. They are claiming that she got run over, and that's why both people in the car have been charged with battery against a police officer. Why the passenger? Well, she said drive, so the man did. So she gets charged too. Now let's go back and take a look.
Ma'am, get away from my car.
You didn't run me over.
Okay, right at that point, she says, "You can't run me over." And she doesn't have enough time here to get her foot away from the tire. What would her foot be doing in that place anyway? I don't know about you, but whenever I'm up against a car, I don't stick my foot under the car. Now, here's probably what happened. She got mad about them driving off. She got all excited, and she told them that he had run over her foot to sort of raise the urgency in nabbing him. I seriously doubt that he ran over her foot, and if he did, it's her own damn fault. You stick a foot in front of a tire and a fleeing suspect drives over it, I'm not sure you can blame the suspect for that. But remember,
207, shots fired.
does it look like her foot is hurt? Now, I know what you're thinking. Man, she won't be a police officer very long. I sure wouldn't want to be in her shoes when the chief sees this. At the very least, she's going to get a serious reprimand and probably lose a stripe. Well, this isn't Dragnet. Those days of Sergeant Joe Friday tearing into a cop over a misdeed are long over. Stay tuned for my next video where we'll scoot on over to Sacramento and watch something that happened a few years ago. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.